I think it was a bit harsh last time. This episode is much better. Much better. You didn't have the spoon feeding as you did last time, or at least not much. Before I do get started though, I do want to mention something that I neglected to mention in my last review, that of the opening titles. I love them. I think they're fantastic. They just capture what His Dark Materials is about. You've got dust, which is creating the alethiometer and things like that. Then you've got various scenes that if you've read the books, you know are coming up. Then it finally zooms out to reveal multitude of worlds, and then the title and like that. I love it. I think it is amazing. Really good. So yeah, tack that onto my last review. Now, one of the things that I was a little bit disappointed with the first episode was the fact that you never really saw Lyra lying. There weren't really any scenes there that demonstrated Lyra's silver tongue. That is her name at the end of the series. Spoiler alert, but I don't think that's a spoiler. And there was nothing. She didn't really do any lying in that first episode, or anything that would get her out of a sticky situation. She does in this one. So yeah, I'm quite happy about that, and again, her character all right there, and I like it. So yeah, I am really liking the portrayal that they're going for here, and I am after a rocky start last week, I am really looking forward to this, and I can absolutely say with absolute certainty that it is better than Golden Compass. But as I say, that's not really difficult to do. What I did find interesting though was how they started to incorporate stuff from later books. I don't recall Lord Boreal ever stepping outside of Lyra's world in Northern Lights. That only started getting introduced in Subtle Knife. But the fact that they're doing it here, I think, is interesting. I mean, with a book, it's quite often that one character. We don't really go outside of that. But with the television, they can do a few other things, just a few extra things, and they've gone outside of the story quite a bit of this. But it does introduce a little more mystery. So you're wondering, how does Lord Boreal know about this? What are these windows? So when Will finally does go through one, it's not such a sudden change. I mean, I've always said that the first two books are kind of split. Northern Lights is Lyra's story and Subtle Knife is Will's story. If you're doing a film series where each film is taking place over one book, then that's still how you want to do it. With an ongoing teleseries, not quite. I think you can do it slightly differently. And so we might end up meeting Will a little bit earlier than next season even. I probably would not think it's that good of an idea, but it could happen. But it is interesting that we are already going into our world in episode 2. There is some overlap between Lyra's story and the Egyptians finally. Lyra doesn't actually meet the Egyptians in this, but Roger does, and so, or at least he meets Billy Costa. So yeah, they finally do have some kind of overlap there, and it looks like they are following Roger's story a bit more than they did in the books. So that's also a nice thing. But I still would have weaved the Egyptians a little bit more into Lyra's story, because at the moment if you're just watching it and you never read the books, you're probably thinking that Lyra never even met the Egyptians really. But they were on good terms for the kind of. I don't know whether good terms is good, but yeah, they did know each other. I can't actually remember too much now that I think about it. I've got to read them again. What I also find interesting is that they're also developing the search for Grumman a little bit more, and that kind of story, and I think that's quite interesting to start now, because I don't think that was that early in the book. Again, it's been a while since I've read them, and I'm fairly certain I'm right in that. Could be wrong, in which case yeah, I'm wrong. Overall, I think very strong second episode. Introduces a lot of new elements that I wasn't expecting, and I do like some of the effects, especially the portal. I think that's a good effect. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season now. This looks like it's going to be good, and I'm happy.